Hi everyone, welcome. So good to have you here. I hope you're having an amazing day so far, or if it's evening for you, I hope you're having a beautiful evening. If we haven't met yet, my name's Tori. I'm a women's integrative nutrition and lifestyle coach. I'm also a functional weight loss specialist. Before we get stuck into today's training, I have a very quick announcement, and that is that the doors to the Radiant Health Reset, my signature program, are opening very soon. And I want to share with you just a couple of the women who come through the program recently. Actually, some of them started very recently. Sam, she joined us in the last intake. In her first 2 weeks, she dropped 2.6 kilos. She said, I am very motivated by this and I feel so in the zone and nothing is going to tempt me away from this incredible program. We got Francine. Francine's been with us now for a few weeks. Her thigh circumference is dropping in centimeters, and she was so thrilled because she put on some size 10 shorts this week. Now, at the beginning of the program, even the 12s were a little bit tight, and now she's able to do up the size 10s. So you can just imagine her sheer joy. I'm just going to refresh my screen and see who's joining us live. So this is an incredible program. I will give you some more details at the end about how you can join me in my signature program. But for now, I want to say hi again. I can't see anyone. It's so strange. I just refreshed my screen, but I can't see anyone here. Perhaps I'll just follow along on my phone as well. If you are watching me and if it is your very first time here, I would like you to let me know that you're a new person. You can just type new in the comments because I'd love to personally welcome you to my community, to my training resources. If it's your, oh my gosh, Marie's here. Hi, Marie. Marie's my friend. Marie's got a birthday coming up soon. And if you've been here before, just drop me a little wave so I know you're here, so I can say hi because we're already friends. If you're catching the replay, I love it when people type hashtag replay because then I know they caught up on this great little video. All right, so as I'm chatting, I want you to share some emojis. I want you to share your questions with me. I want you to chime in if something resonates for you. If you feel like, oh God, yeah, that's definitely me, give me a little emoji. I'm not seeing all of the comments, I'm sure, which is a little bit annoying and I can't seem to follow along on my phone. Never mind. Okay. Brain fog in perimenopause. When will it end? And can I do something about it now? Can I clear it now? Women are really suffering with this. I had a big response to saying I was going to educate about this. Women are really suffering through because the health professionals they're seeing don't really understand this dynamic enough to be able to explain to them what's going on, let alone help them get over it. And for some women, this problem is debilitating and embarrassing. That feeling of standing in front of someone and the word that you need just vanishes. Or you walk into a room and you have absolutely no idea why you're there, what you came there for. And you retrace your steps and you still can't remember. Or maybe you're like reading the same email 3 times and you're still like not actually absorbing any of it. Well, some women find they're sitting in a conversation and they realize halfway through that conversation they have been somewhere else entirely. A lot of women feel like they used to be quite sharp, capable, quick, and clear, and now they're just not. And they're being told, well, this is just perimenopause, so this will just pass. If that's your experience right now, then I want you to know you are not imagining this. It is real. It's specific. It has identifiable causes. And here's what I want you to walk away understanding today. Brain fog is not your brain breaking down. It's not early onset dementia. A lot of women say that to me. They're worried they're getting dementia. It's not permanent. It's not your new normal. It's actually your brain running a survival program, and that program can be switched off, right? And when you get to understand what's actually driving it, the clarity will come back much faster than you believe. So let's get into it. The first piece of this that I want to share with you is that this isn't going to just end on its own. You got to do something about it. But once you do, it clears much faster than you think. Okay? So let's first cover the story that most women are living right now. They go to their doctor, probably a very well-meaning doctor, and they describe what's happening. Hey, Louisa, so good to have you here, darling. Louisa's doing Radiant Health Reset with me. She's having phenomenal results. And the doctor says to you, well, this is just perimenopause. This is just your hormones fluctuating. Normal part of aging. It'll get better once you've got through the transition. So maybe just reduce your stress a little bit. Maybe you get handed an antidepressant, or maybe you get offered HRT. Both of which could make the problem much worse, paradoxically. You might get a referral to a therapist, or you might get given nothing at all. And I understand why women would accept this nothing at all solution, because when a doctor tells you something's just hormonal and it's temporary, then you trust that and you wait. And 6 months goes by, or a year goes by, or years go by, and the fog doesn't lift. And then you start to wonder, is this just who I am now? But what nobody told you is that hormonal fluctuations and this decline of estrogen that happens as we approach menopause is a contributor to brain fog, but it is not the contributor to brain fog. It is not the only thing. Hey, Jenny, good to have you with us, darling. Jenny's been following me for forever and ever and ever. So here's the piece that changes everything. Two women could have identical hormone levels on paper, and one of them feel quite sharp and focused and clear, and the other one can barely get through a conversation without completely losing her train of thought. Same hormones, but completely different cognitive experience. Why? Because the determining factors isn't hormones alone. It's also the metabolic environment that the brain is living in. The inflammatory environment, or the blood sugar stability or instability, the mitochondrial energy output of her cells, her gut health, right? These are the things that separates a woman who can just weather the hormonal transition with grace and ease from a woman who's genuinely struggling to get her brain to function well. And this is what makes me really frustrated on your behalf, is women take this advice and then they wait for years for their hormones to settle down, right, expecting their brain to come back online. And they're waiting years unnecessarily, because it actually might not even happen at all. They might not get their clarity back because hormones settling down doesn't fix the other stuff. It doesn't fix the inflammatory load, it doesn't repair the gut, and it doesn't restore the mitochondrial output that your brain is relying on. And so you could get to the other side of perimenopause and be postmenopausal and still be very foggy if the root causes haven't been addressed. So this is not a waiting game that I want you to play. This is a root cause conversation. And here's the part where I empower you. When you have awareness and when you know what's driving your symptoms, then you get to do something about them. And then your clarity returns, often very quickly, within weeks, not years, weeks. I have seen this happen inside the Radiant Health Reset over and over and over. Women who have been struggling cognitively for 2, 3, 4 years, when they actually address what's driving it, they start to feel sharp in a matter of weeks. So I want you to give me a little symbol in the comments right now. Maybe give me one of them. Give me anything you like. Give me a thumbs up. If you are done waiting for this just to pass and you're ready to do something about it, give me a big thumbs up. Give me a little hands in the air. All right. So here's the next piece I want you to understand. Brain fog is a metabolic symptom, not just a hormonal one. All right. So let's get into the actual drivers now, because this is where conventional medicine completely misses the mark and where functional medicine offers us a completely different conversation. Here's what you've been told. Your estrogen's dropping and that's why your brain's a bit foggy, or it's just hormonal and there isn't really anything you can do. And then if there is any treatment offered, it's usually aimed solely at the hormones or at your mood, like the antidepressants, or at other individual symptoms. But nobody's actually looking at the whole metabolic environment that your brain is expected to operate inside. So here's what's actually happening, and I'll try and break this down so it's quite simple. There are two main accelerants of brain fog that are unrelated to your estrogen, unrelated to your sex hormones that are declining. One of them is neuroinflammation, brain inflammation, and the other one is mitochondrial stress. Those are the two main things that are kind of contributing to the foggy. And they're both metabolic problems, which means they can both be addressed. So let's start with neuroinflammation. You've probably heard of leaky gut. Here's why leaky gut matters for your brain. When that one cell thick membrane in your gut is compromised and becomes leaky, which is incredibly common for women over 40 who are living with chronic stress, because stress is one of the things that makes us get a leaky gut, then little bacterial toxins called lipopolysaccharides that normally would stay safely within the gut wall, they now can escape into the bloodstream and they can now circulate through the body and they can now cross the blood-brain barrier. And once they're inside the brain, these little inflammatory lipopolysaccharides trigger inflammation directly in your brain. That's called neuroinflammation. And an inflamed brain can't process, retrieve information, can't function clearly. It's that direct. But here's a double whammy for you. Add to that chronic stress, crappy sleep, blood sugar dysregulation. They're not just adding to the inflammatory load, they're actually compromising the barrier of your brain, that blood-brain barrier I mentioned a moment ago. And that structure is supposed to protect your brain from the circulating toxins, but it becomes weak by the exact same things that are producing the toxins in the first place. It's called a leaky brain. You can have a leaky gut, you can have a leaky brain. Chances are if you have a leaky gut, which a lot of women do, then you also have a leaky brain because the same factors are affecting them. And so with a leaky brain, more is getting through, more inflammation. It's creating more fog for you. So there's this highway that runs between the gut and the brain. They're very connected. So now let's talk about the mitochondrial piece. Your brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your whole body. It runs on ATP, which is the cellular energy that gets produced by our mitochondria. This is the currency of the body. Now, when you are nutrient depleted, which most women over 40 are, even women who think they're eating a healthy diet, women are depleted. I never met a woman who wasn't depleted. When you are chronically stressed, when you sleep really badly night after night, your mitochondria can't produce adequate energy output for your brain to function at full capacity, so it doesn't. And you experience that as kind of this heavy, slow, can't quite think straight feeling that we call brain fog. Poor sleep makes it worse. Alcohol makes it worse. Processed foods make it worse. Chronic unmanaged stress makes it worse, because those are all inflammatory inputs that are driving this same poor cognitive outcome. Let me give you the power back. You can heal your gut. The inflammatory load can be reduced, and you can support your mitochondria, and that blood-brain barrier can be re-strengthened. These are all addressable things. They're all healable things. When you change the environment, by the way, when I talk about environment, I also mean your daily choices that you make in every single moment of the day. When you do that, then the brain environment changes with it. So clarity isn't waiting for your hormones to settle down. Clarity is you actively creating change. Yeah, exactly, Jenny. So much, Jenny's just talking about the amount of activity that goes on in women's heads. Because many of us are martyrs. We bite off more than we can chew. We do a lot. We do. We don't do a lot of being. We're supposed to be human beings, not human doings. And because we are always up here, we create more stress for ourselves, and that exacerbates this whole situation. So is this starting to make some sense? All of these things can be addressed, and you can make your brain function better, and you can have the clarity. Clarity arrives when we start making changes about our choices. So I want you to give me another little emoji. I want you to wave. I want you to give me a thumbs up if this is making sense and you can see how you are empowered to change. Okay, third little piece. I want you to understand. Oh, I don't want to knock over my tea. I've done that before. So please understand, brain fog isn't your brain failing. Often what's going on is your brain is executing a survival program. Let me explain this. This is a really important one to sit with. What most women tell themselves is, oh, my brain is really declining. I'm totally losing my edge. I used to be on top of everything, and now I can barely keep up. This must be just what it's like getting older. Thank you. I can see your emojis coming through. Thanks, guys. But holding that belief, that story about what's going on with your brain, it's not just inaccurate. It's genuinely harmful to you to believe that, because it leads you to accept the brain fog as permanent and something you can't control, which isn't truth. It disempowers you, and it feeds this dynamic even more. You're lowering the bar on what you expect from yourselves. Gosh, I feel like one of my jobs on this earth is constantly teaching women to raise the bar. Raise the bar for the life experience they expect to have, for their own bodies, for their own health, in their interpersonal relationships. Raise the bar, women. I want to offer you a completely different framework for your thinking around this today. Your brain is not failing you. Your brain is not in decline. I promise you this. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do, given the environment you're asking it to live in. And the environment you ask it to live in is often incompatible with human life. And you've been asking it to do that for far too long. So here's another way of saying this. Under chronic stress, and I mean any type of stress, not just a mental and emotional stress, but any type of physiological stress too, and any type of biochemical stress on the body, your brain deliberately under stress will downregulate use of the prefrontal cortex, which is your executive functioning center, which is your memory, which is your planning, which is your ability to access your vocabulary, which is your complex problem solving capability. All of that sits in the prefrontal lobe, prefrontal cortex, and your brain very intelligently puts that under lower stress during times of stress, because what it's doing is it's redirecting resources to your survival processes instead under stress. The processes that are like reactive and threat scanning, and they're the ones that keep you alive. This is not dysfunction. This is brilliant and elegant evolutionary design in action. Our species would not have survived at all if we didn't have the ability to do this, to shut down this part of the brain and promote this part of the brain. Because you don't need to remember where you put your car keys if you're being chased by a lion. You need to run and get the fuck out of there. Your brain is making this calculation. It's prioritizing your immediate survival over your capacity to think clearly. The problem is, this program that we have that goes shut down this, promote this, it was built for short-term use, just under absolute acute threat, like genuine threats on your life, a crisis that lasts, say, 30 seconds or maybe 30 minutes, not year after year after year of low-grade physiological stress. It wasn't designed for that. Here's some examples of what chronic, unrelenting physiological stress might look like in your day. Blood sugar spiking and crashing because you don't consistently eat balanced meals, and you wait far too long to eat breakfast after you get up because you're intermittent fasting and you're trying to lose weight, or maybe you just forget because you're too busy to eat. That's a stress signal to your brain. That's a stress signal to your survival system, to your nervous system. Or really shitty sleep night after night after night after night after night. That's a stress signal. Under those conditions, it'll shut that down and promote that. Or a very high inflammatory load in your gut and therefore in your bloodstream. That's a stress signal. And your body will shut down that and promote that. Or, yeah, mental and emotional stress that's been ongoing for years and you're running on cortisol, that's a stress signal to the body too. So every one of those examples is telling your brain there's a threat present right now. Switch to survival mode. Switch off this. No need to keep this prefrontal cortex active. Put it offline. Keep the fog in place. Don't get her looking for her car keys because this is life-threatening. She might get eaten. Okay, so this is maybe the most important thing that I will say to you today, and that is this. The program doesn't have to keep running. You can switch it off. You can switch it off by removing chronic stresses from your life. You could stabilize your blood sugar and eat regular balanced meals. You could reduce the inflammatory load on your body by choosing better things to put in your mouth and better things to drink. Yeah, Jenny, 9 years of shift work is not ideal. It's time to let someone else take over. That's what I usually say to my clients. Thank you for your service, and now it's time for someone else to do that. It has a limit. 9 years of shift work, right? Shift work has a limit. So removing the chronic stresses, stabilize your blood sugar, eat regular balanced meals, reduce the inflammatory load, support your sleep. Oh, darling, you need to sleep better. Restore the harmony in the HPATG axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, gonadular axis, the axis upon which all of our hormones are orchestrated. Then you're sending a new signal to your brain. The threat is gone. We're okay now. It's safe. It's safe to come back online, prefrontal cortex. Back you come. And guess what? Then it does. And the fog lifts and the words come back and the focus returns. Not because you waited until it was over, but because you actively took responsibility for your choices in your life and you changed what your brain was responding to. So don't accept fog as your new normal. Understand what is keeping the survival switch activated, and then give your brain what it needs to switch off. So I want you to type for me. Yeah, good, Jenny. I'm so glad. It's on her radar, people. I want you to type switch. Type the word switch for me if you're realizing that your brain has probably been stuck in survival mode and you're ready to change it. Type switch for me right now. All right, so here's where we land today. If you remember nothing else, brain fog is not your brain breaking down. It is not the inevitable cost of getting older. What a load of fucking rubbish. It is not, it's a signal. It's a signal from a brain that's been running a survival program on too many chronic stressors for far too long. Remove the stressors, change the environment, your clarity will return. So all those women who are just waiting for their hormones to settle down before they feel like they're themselves again and they feel like they can think, they're waiting for the wrong thing. It's never gonna go away. The women who take responsibility and address what's underlying the inflammation and the imbalanced blood sugar and the leaky gut and the problems with the mitochondria, they get their brain back. Like my clients, this is exactly what this work is about. And this is exactly what we do in the Radiant Health Reset, which is my signature program. It's designed especially for women over the age of 40 who are ready to just stop trying to manage their symptoms and just get by and have a really shitty experience of their life. And they're ready to actually start addressing the root causes that are underneath the symptoms. So inside the Radiant Health Reset, we work through the blood sugar regulation and the metabolic instability and create stability instead. And we heal the gut and the neuroinflammation, and we get the hormonal foundations in place and we restore hormone balance. We get the sleep quality fixed. We support the nervous system. Your mitochondrial health will be looked after. We replete your nutrients. So important. So it's the whole terrain, the whole environment, not just like one little piece in isolation. That won't work. The doors are opening very soon to join the Radiant Health Reset. Spots are very limited. This program feels very quickly, and I only have a few intakes each year, and I don't want you to miss it. So if you would like all of the details, what's included, the investment, how it all works, I want you to comment Radiant in big capital letters so that me or a member of my team sees it, and we will reach out to you with next steps. One of my clients said it best recently when she said, I feel like my brain is finally mine again. That's what's possible. That is what is available to you too. It was never just perimenopause brain. It was your brain asking for a different environment. The environment it needed all along has now been revealed through this hormonal transition. So comment Radiant, big capital letters, and let's get you there. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me, women, and I will see you next week.